That ultimatum destroyed your relationship. My boyfriend's dying mother made us promise to conceive within 30 days so she could meet her grandchild before she died. When I said I wasn't ready, he held me down and said, "She doesn't have time for you to be ready." James and I had been together for 2 years when his mother got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. She and I had never gotten along. She was creepy and controlling and had James wrapped around her finger. She'd always been obsessed with grandchildren and kept a nursery ready in her house. But when she was diagnosed and the doctors gave her 10 months to live, she went totally psycho. She spent every visit showing us baby clothes she'd collected and crying about how she'd never hold her grandchild. James would sit there promising we'd give her grandbabies someday while I stayed quiet. His mother had this way of grabbing my stomach during hugs and whispering, "Still empty?" That made my skin crawl. When she found out her prognosis was worse than expected, a part of me was relieved. I thought she'd have to let go of the baby thing now that there was no chance she'd live long enough to see me give birth. But the next time I saw her, she grabbed both our hands and made us swear on her life that we'd conceive immediately. "I just need to live long enough to feel the baby kick," she said. "Otherwise, my soul will never rest. I just know I can hold out that long. Promise me you'll start trying tonight." James squeezed my hand so hard it hurt and said we promised. I tried to speak up, but his mother started sobbing about dying without her legacy. James glared at me with tears in his eyes. "We promise, Mom," he said again. "We'll start tonight." The drive home was silent until James pulled into a pharmacy. He bought ovulation tests, prenatal vitamins, and fertility supplements. "We're doing this," he said. "I won't let her die thinking I failed her." I told him I wasn't ready for a baby. We lived in a studio apartment. I'd just started my career. He slammed his hand on the dashboard. "She's dying," he screamed. "You can't be selfish right now." He installed fertility apps on both our phones and started making me take my temperature every morning. He marked my ovulation windows on our calendar in red. His mother called every day asking if I was pregnant yet, and James would put her on speaker while she cried about running out of time. He started controlling what I ate and when I slept. Everything became about optimizing my fertility. When my period came, he punched a hole in our wall and said I'd killed his mother's last hope. He became someone I didn't recognize as his mother's condition worsened. He quit his job to focus on getting me pregnant. When I suggested we could tell his mom I was pregnant just to give her peace, he said she'd know if I was lying. She had a sixth sense about bloodline continuation. One night I woke up to find James standing over me with a syringe. He said it was just fertility hormones his mother's doctor had prescribed. I knocked it out of his hand and tried to leave. That's when he grabbed me and pinned me to the bed. "She doesn't have time for you to be ready," he said. "If you loved me, you'd do this." I managed to knee him and escape to the bathroom where I called 911. The police arrested James for domestic violence and I got a restraining order and moved in with my sister. For 3 weeks I felt safe. I started eating normally again and slept through the night without someone checking my temperature. I even went on birth control without anyone screaming about murdering dreams. James's mother called constantly, but I blocked her number. Then she died. James left a voicemail saying I'd killed her by taking away her will to live. He said she died believing her bloodline would end because of my selfishness, so I blocked him too. But James wasn't done with me. He started calling all our mutual friends saying I'd murdered his mother by refusing to give her a grandchild. He even had her obituary say she died empty-handed because of one selfish monster that she'd treated like a daughter. He showed up at my sister's apartment complex leaving baby dolls covered in fake blood at the door. One day he sent a package that I realized with horror was his mother's ashes, with a note saying I should keep them since I killed her. He started dating another woman immediately and got her pregnant within 2 months. She began sending me ultrasound photos with messages like, "This could have been yours if you weren't so selfish." But 6 months later, the new girlfriend contacted me saying she was terrified. She'd found journals where James had documented his plans to impregnate multiple women to honor his mother. She realized she was only pregnant because he'd been supplying her with the same fertility medications he tried on me. We went to the police together with the evidence. They found James had been stalking several women from fertility support groups and had detailed plans for creating what he called a grandchild army for his deceased mother. James was arrested for reproductive coercion and assault. He's serving 5 years. His girlfriend kept the baby but has full custody and a lifetime restraining order. Meanwhile, I still have nightmares about his mother whispering "still empty," but at least I know he can't force me to fill it.